Five guys, 4 countries, 3 continents, 2 hours, and one great fucking time. It's 3 the hard way.
So I have, I have one other thing I was for sure going to try to bring up today, but I wanted to kind of open it up if there's something specific you guys wanted to talk about or anything today before that, because I want to make sure I don't lead everything. So
I had a few things, but they were just throwaway subjects like questions like unusual places that people had sex and stuff like that. But those were just things fillers. I think let's just continue with what you're doing, Jerry.
Oh, all right. Because I got an unusual place that might be hard for you to believe.
Okay, well let's
Is it the car wash?
No.
The car wash, right?
Yeah. While driving a car.
While driving, that was
I was driving and having sex at the same time.
How is that? Is that obviously it's possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yep. You just gotta
not safe, but it's possible.
You just gotta move her top half to the side and let the bottom do its job.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't got nothing. I've done it in a car, but the car was not moving at the time. I've done it in the moving train.
I was gonna say if the car wasn't moving, you weren't doing it right.
Lovely. Yeah. I've done it in the moving train. I was gonna say, but I wasn't driving the train at the time.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
So yeah, you're very quiet, T. You're very quiet.
No, I mean, movie theater, rooftop, balcony, car wash, drive-through.
Car wash. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drive-through. A drive-through car wash or a drive-through restaurant?
Both. So, mostly fellatio, but
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's just like it's Saturday night. Drinks been flowing.
What's going on at the car wash?
To the house.
Saturday night.
All right, okay.
Nah, I think the wildest one was the movie theater, because we were literally in the theater by ourselves. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's just like, hey man, I'm bored.
Hey man, I'm bored. What was his name?
Very good, Jay.
No, that wasn't the words I used. That's what the thought was. Like this movie isn't entertaining enough. Let's let's do something different, and if phones were what they are now back then, I would still have that memory somewhere on a Google Drive, but that's not the
case. Sure.
Apparently one of the popular places is an elevator. I don't even know how that works. I mean, unless like on the movies there's a button that you can press that stops the elevator.
There's a lot of elevators that have that button you can press. Yeah.
I don't see them here in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, that was just a movie thing.
I've considered it, but I've considered pitching the idea to my wife, but she would never be on board with that, I don't think. But
is it crowded? That's the question. Is you too long, or is it crowded? Sure. Because you can sneak and do something in public if you know what you're doing.
All right. Okay. So
True.
we're not talking full blown then, obviously. We're just talking a hand job or something. You gotta be. You can't be. There's no way you can do it in a elevator with no one realizing. If we're talking going all the way, so you're not talking about. You're just talking about.
Okay, so when you were on the train, um, how private was that? Because I had a girl sit in my lap while we did us.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Likewise, but it wasn't crowded. It was movement. It wasn't crowded. There wasn't people on the next door on the chair in front of us, stuff like that.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, because of her orgasm, it was very obvious of what happened. So we had to get off that train.
Sound like you already got off.
Joey,
I
man.
mean,
Oh
once it
God.
once it started trickling on the ground, it was just like, all right, we gotta go.
So I multiple times in a church parking lot, but
What about in the church itself?
no.
No.
It's
Again, I grew up very religious. I would have been scared that someone would know and lightning would strike. I mean,
the parking lot is safe. It's the grounds that aren't safe. That's basically what you're saying.
inside the building is what's unsafe. I think you're crossing. Well, I mean, especially because at that age, like we weren't married, like we were dating, so it's definitely you don't do that inside the church there. Yeah,
That's exactly why you would want to.
I mean, yeah, but there's
A limit.
a healthy or unhealthy, depending on how you look at it. There's a respect for it somewhere in there. So,
Yeah, at least it wasn't in the church,
right.
Okay.
Oh Lord, Jesus. So, all right, transgender athletes. I know I pitched this the other day for the show that we do every other weekend, something for the weekend, and maybe we'll bring it up on there at some point. But T, I would assume you're familiar with Leah Thomas. Andre, I don't know if you're familiar with Leah Thomas.
Yeah, I am.
So Leah Thomas is a transgender female, meaning born male, identifies as female. And to my knowledge, has all the male parts as well. To my knowledge.
A swimmer.
But yep, college swimmer. So swims for, I want to say it was Penn or Penn State, maybe, I don't remember for sure. But this, because she identifies as a woman, I'll call her woman. This woman was a man in college, was a man, and converted, transitioned, whatever you want to call it, identified as a woman, and started swimming for the women's team. And is just beating the shit out of all the other women in the pool, breaking records, winning everything. The number one ranked women's swimmer in college here in the U.S. But before transitioning to a woman, when she was a male swimmer, she was the number 468 ranked male swimmer. So, yeah. Is that fair?
Well, it's just like if LeBron decided to transition and join the WNBA. I mean, he would probably score 300 points a game.
Right.
Whether it's fair or not, I guess it's a point of ethics when it comes to the sport.
Sure.
Because you can't tell somebody how they feel on the inside. So it's more of a popular opinion rather than him breaking the rules or her breaking the rules.
Yeah, I mean the rules recently have changed. They've changed some rules now, but I mean you can look at the top of that page there. It says is nominated for the NCAA Woman of the Year. Interesting. I think Caitlyn Jenner didn't Caitlyn Jenner wasn't she named the Times or something like that's Woman of the Year? One year.
Yeah.
It's strange. I mean, I don't know. This feels like an attack on women to me. Be honestly, it feels like an attack on biological women to allow a man to transition and compete with women. I mean, but the rule recently has changed, and I think it is. I think it is. If you transition before you're 13, you can compete as a woman, and I think that's because you haven't completely gone through puberty yet, so you don't have all that testosterone that you would normally have, which is just basically like taking steroids. I mean, so
So
Yeah.
I got two things to say about that. Is it a popular thing now? I feel like certain people might be doing just to ride the wave or take advantage of the situation. And if that's the case, um then they're not doing it to, be who they are. They're doing it for selfish reasons. And it makes me think about this, like, do you have to earn the right to be a man or a woman?
no, I don't think you do. I don't think. I hadn't given it any thought.
I'm not sure what that question even means. Do you have to earn the right?
So like like Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner transitioned a while back and then became Woman of the Year, and a lot of
Uh,
uh females who were born women felt slighted, obviously, because you know um she didn't have to grow up and go through the same things that they did, but all of a sudden you get honored at this high achievement or award or whatever, just from after being a woman for just a year.
yeah.
So it's just like, that's the question I see from it. Like, do you have to earn being a man or a woman? Like as far as, like, I guess in the life we live, it's like a ranking system. Like you have to earn and establish something to be rewarded for it. I'm
Well,
assuming.
I don't. Maybe I definitely think a transgender woman hasn't lived the life of a woman, hasn't experienced the things that a woman experiences. As far as the way society treats women and the way, they just I don't know. Maybe they have. If they transition young, I'm sure they've experienced some of that, but I don't know.
Yeah. For me, it's always a tough subject because I don't really understand. To be honest, I don't think I really understand a lot of the like society's stance on it because obviously my again it probably comes from ignorance, but yes, like you said, Joey, I do struggle to understand why someone like Caitlyn Jenner um, is given the title of Woman of the Year, and and again, it comes down to what you said. What is the criteria that made her receive that title? And Women of the Year. What is that? Is that what all the women in the US, or what is it? How does that work? What is that? Women of the Year.
It's just like People Magazine does the like world sexy or sexiest man or whatever. It's just basically they just basically are, I guess, polling people or in at the magazine or whatever, they're voting on it. It's not,
Mm,
you know.
nothing serious, really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. People get nominated. It's like a popular contest.
Okay.
They get nominated, and then whoever gets voted, you
Okay.
know,
Well,
the
if it
favorite out of
doesn't,
all of them end up
yeah.
being that.
Well, I guess if it doesn't have any real basis, any real backing, then I guess it's just a what it's nothing more than just a token thing. But I think if it was anything with substance, then I would probably question it more because there's a lot of women out there who have been through a lot of things, like Joey said, from a very young age and grown up and lived the life of a woman and went through all the problems of a woman. So yeah, my thought would be, shouldn't one of those people be considered first before someone who has recently transitioned to become a woman?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, us black guys, we still slight when there was, I don't know where it was, but there was some award. I'm not even sure if it was US or UK, but there was some award, and the top reggae band was white, and a lot of people were saying, what the hell, you're telling me that
Sure.
this white reggae band was better than all these reggae bands and the black people who have been playing reggae music for how many years? And
As just like when Macklemore won his best rap album over Kendrick Lamar back in the day, and it was just like, how did that happen? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm.
So I mean that essentially that's one of the issues that a lot of people in America have today. That um, the fact that it was a white transgender woman who's being recognized when there have been transgender women of color,
uh,
prior to that who was fighting for the same thing, but yet their story is being highlighted while the other one's kind of being shut out.
yeah,
So it's not an issue of gender. Sometimes it's about race.
so,
Sure.
yeah.
I don't know. It is a touchy subject. I mean, and I don't know what it's like to feel like you're born something that you're not. I guess it's the only way I know how to put it, honestly. But I I just it does feel like a slight to women, and it does feel like, I don't know. It feels unfair. It feels insane. I mean, you would never let a man get into the ring into the ring or into the compete against women in something. I mean, and maybe we should. Maybe that's where we should be as a society. Maybe we should just go, yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
You
wonder
want
if
to,
that. Yeah,
They should though.
yeah, that'd be
and
interesting
I don't like it. I don't. If I were going to watch the UFC fights and it was going to be a man and the woman with a ring, I don't know that I could watch it. I probably would because of the spectacle of it, but
you would. Yeah, I would.
I'm just not.
Comfortable with it.
I'm not happy with it.
Mm.
I mean,
Okay, but we living in a world where equality is becoming, more mainstream. So it's not like you're going to put Lennox Lewis in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. You're going to put him in somebody that matches his
Wait.
stature. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but
if a female boxer, go
I
ahead.
don't know. I mean, I think even a female and male fighting each other that have the same stature still doesn't feel
We
even.
know that. Otherwise, we'd have that already.
Right.
Hmm.
We'd have that already, and that would draw a lot of crowd if it was fair, and if there was less risk to the woman getting hurt. But we don't do that because
So
we know, even if they're the same weight, it's not going to be a fair fight. That's reality.
So let me ask you this: if if there was a movement or a petition going on for a woman to join like the NFL,
Women can
or
join the NFL. They already
okay,
can. They
so
already can.
so are they not allowed to join the male boxing league?
I don't know what the rules are on combat sports, but I just know in the US, all of the men's sports, professional men's sports, there is no rule that a woman can't play. So if a
Why wouldn't
woman,
women want to?
well, some women do. I mean, we had college football.
Oh,
Vanderbilt had a a female kicker a couple of years ago. And
No, I meant NFL. In NFL, I'm talking about. I thought we were talking about.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Well, we talking about any professional sport. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, I could imagine if a woman wants to be a kicker in college football, she might want to be a kicker in the NFL. So
of course,
you
they're
know,
definitely going. Oh, in NFL.
I'm saying I would assume she would want to in the NFL. Maybe not. We've not had it. We've had women try out though. We have had women try out for NFL kicker before. They just weren't good enough to make the team. I mean, that's the thing is that's one thing about professional sports is, in my opinion anyway, sports are the great equalizer because a team is going to put the best players on the field because they make money. I mean, the owners of these teams make money if the team does well, so they're going to put the best players. They may not like a certain race or a certain gender or whatever, but if they're going to play them if they're the best because they make money. I mean, that's just money talks, and that's the thing. So if you had a woman trying out for football and she's number 32 out of everyone that tries out for that position, there's 32 teams in the NFL, she's going to get a job. She's going to get a job if she's better than, 31 people can be better than her. If she's number 32, she'll get the job. But so far, we just haven't had that yet. But what I was saying was that all the men's professional sports in the U.S., there is no rule that women can't play. But the women's professional sports, there is a rule that men cannot play. So why would we allow someone who's gone through the same body change, the same hormone changes and everything to play in a women's league? I mean, you take Fallon Fox. You guys know who Fallon Fox is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fallon Fox was a mixed martial arts fighter that transitioned to a woman and started fighting women. You had formerly was a man, started fighting women, and here's a photo of her in the ring with another woman. I mean,
beating the shit out of them.
Not just beating the shit out of them. One of the women she fought, she crushed her orbital socket. I mean, crushed her orbital socket. Why is it? Take fair out of it. Why is it right? Why is it okay for something like that? I heard, and this is not my own idea, but I like this idea. But I heard Joe Rogan say one time, it's like, we should do away in sports in general, but especially in combat sports, we should do away with male and female leagues or whatever you want to call it, and it should be based off chromosome. There should be an X chromosome boxing and Y chromosome. So it doesn't matter if you identify as male or female. Whatever your chromosome says is what you fight in.
I'm just surprised by the Fallon Fox thing. So Karen.
Yeah, because so that's the thing, right? Like, that's what it makes me think. Like, it's not that you wanted to transition, you wanted to compete in something you think you would fare better at. So that's what kind of it makes it really unpopular, and it really makes the trans community seem selfish or untrue or unhonorable in those particular situations. So that's what makes it such a hard topic to get involved with, especially if you're not in it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's wild, and also that's what it is. Like, it's not the sex to the person, it's the person in general. This is somebody who decided to, quote unquote, skirt the system and take the easy way out when it comes to achieving a goal.
Yeah.
But I guess it's difficult to determine why somebody decides they want to, or why they want to change gender. You can't always know specifically more. I mean, you can only go by what they tell you. So Fallon Fox, for instance, I guess you don't know for sure that. Are you saying that maybe Fallon Fox did the change so that she could be better at the sport?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she was a grown man and transitioned to female, and now is beating this. Or I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't heard anything about her for a couple of years, but I mean, now is beating the shit out of women in the ring. I mean, it's like we've legalized abuse. I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty amazed to see this.
Yeah,
it's one thing. Yeah, it's one thing. Being allowed to do NFL or stuff like that, but
well,
I don't know. I mean, maybe a certain woman in the UFC disrespected, her before she transitioned, and she's like, "I'll get you one day," and maybe it's a vendetta thing. It's like, he was after this one particular person and couldn't do it as himself and decided to transition, and now, it's quote unquote equal.
Yeah,
it's hard to establish why somebody wants
I mean,
to change gender.
I heard recently about that Australia has, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up to Josh today. But I heard that Australia recently has the rule that you have to transition before a certain age to be able to compete in women's sports, and it's partially because there's a rugby player that had transitioned to female and was playing women's rugby.
All right.
And was like, 240, 250 pound man's body, a man's body, just running over people out there. I mean, I think.
So like there's a theme.
Yeah. I think, let me see here. I think it's not a great picture, but I think this is it, assuming. But I mean, look at that. There's the trans female.
Ooh.
I mean, does this woman here, and I don't know her, but does this woman here stand a chance if that's running at you full speed? Probably not. No,
probably not even me. I'm just
I mean, I don't stand a chance. No, I mean, I don't stand a chance. But it's. I thought I saw.
What's her name? Is it Hannah?
Let's see here. There's another picture.
Yeah, it is.
That and that is before transition years ago. Let's see here. Caroline Layt, Layt, battled discrimination and ignorance as Australia's first trans rugby player, and now she's revealed she had to battle her own teammates as well. 56-year-old. So this can't be the story I heard recently. This is something else. Yeah, because this is from back in 2005. So
yeah,
it was that long ago.
Another one.
That's what
Hannah,
that's
Hannah
what that
Muntz.
says.
Hannah Muntz, born a male, an Australian national team handball. Is that the same thing? Handball player.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same thing as rugby or not, honestly.
Well, the ball's shaped like a rugby, and they're running with it in their hands. But
okay,
say what you see.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, Joey. I'm not sure. I don't get involved in all fights, but
sure.
I'm always there to stand up for the little guy. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy. It's female flag football teams are very popular in this area, and I don't think that a lot of women want to put up with the physical pressure and angst that comes with playing contact sports like that. So
sure, I mean, but that's
why you don't see them joining teams.
Yeah, that's what I say. But that's flag football, though. I mean, that's
no.
Not,
I'm saying a lot of females don't want to actually join National Football League because of the physical endurance that you have to keep up with regulations and stuff like that, and then like the the soreness, the contact, the constant possible brain damage and stuff like that. Like those situations, like it's a rare breed of people. That's why it's not popular. So it's like you can champion for something, but it can't just be 100 people out of the entire country or whatever that's just trying to do it, because then not that it's a problem or issue, but people want to see more of an effort put behind changing something like that, or making it like the football team want to be able to sell it at the end of the day. They're
Sure.
not necessarily concerned about the player. How do they sell this? And I think that's what it is. And I don't think it's a issue with fairness or anything like that. Is how can I sell this? So it's
So,
commercialized so much.
so as always, I always try to ask these basic questions. So, what if I asked you guys what what is a woman?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays,
I mean, the
I
old
don't
days,
know.
yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
asked the question. Yeah, the time we'd have answered that straight away.
There's actually a documentary that just came out called "What Is a Woman."
Oh,
Yeah, it's by it's a very conservative guy. Matt Walsh is his name, is the one that did the documentary. But what the clips I've seen anyway, he doesn't try to be misleading. Again, I've only seen clips, but he doesn't try to be misleading. He just very much just asks the question, "What is a woman?" and then based on answers may ask some follow-up questions and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean that would be hard to define. What is a woman? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I think only women can answer that question. Just like I don't believe a woman can tell me what a man is. They can tell me what they believe they should be, but you can't tell me who I am or what I
sure.
am.
yeah, but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about. There was a time when if you had asked me what a woman was, I would have said someone who I don't know has a womb, someone who can make babies. Of course, we know that not all women are able to do that, but there would have been a time when
Hmm.
that would have been my answer. I'm not quite sure anymore if that's a correct answer, but
Sure.
that's an answer I would have given in the past.
Well, that answers another question. Women are complicated and men are simple.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you think men are simple? Honestly, you really think men are simple?
On a majority scale, yes.
Okay. Andre, do you agree with that?
Nah, I don't agree with that. I think Easy have that conversation. Easy says that a lot. I don't really understand what that even means. It
Yeah.
sounds like it always sounds to me like the sort of thing that guys say when they want to be endeared by women, rather than I don't know what does that even mean. Men are simple. What does that mean?
So like I said, it's not a general blanket statement,
Of course, yeah.
but
We always
yeah, overall, you could say less complicated than a woman if you
I,
want to put it like that.
well, I
But
prefer that. I prefer that. That I might agree with.
it
That doesn't.
yeah,
It's obviously less complicated. That doesn't make it simple.
yeah, they can be
Trigonometry
though.
might be less complicated than I don't know, something
Quantum
else.
physics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, it doesn't mean it's less complicated. Doesn't mean it's simple. So
All
yeah,
right, so they can be,
yeah, so
and
can women.
very well
Anybody can.
women can be simple, but I think it's in their nature not to be, which is would make them who they are. And that's just from my experience. It might be different for you or Joey.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't subscribe to
As married men, I don't suggest you speak too much on that.
that. I refuse to subscribe to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Hey
Joey,
Joey, you should ask this question next week on Sunday.
ask what? What is a man,
Are
or are women
no,
simple?
are women simple?
Are women simple? Okay.
are women
Okay.
simple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm,
Well, I'll ask it, but if I had to guess, I'd say your answer will stand alone.
mm.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I mean, Bill Burr recently had a special come out recently, and he talked about women's sports in it for a moment, and how the whole equal pay thing uh, the U.S. women's soccer team had a complained about equal pay. They didn't get paid as much as the U.S. men's soccer team. And it's, if you research it, it's their own fault. They were offered the same type of contract and they chose a different contract, which in the end made them get paid less. But you hear a lot over here about the women, the WNBA players don't make as much as the NBA players. And, he posed the thought of it's women's fault that they don't make as much because women don't support them. Women don't go in the same. I mean, you look at women. I mean, the amount of women that are at an NBA game is low compared to the amount of women at a WNBA game, but the amount of people period at a WNBA game is less. It's just it's
Yeah,
not as interesting. It's not as exciting. I mean,
yeah. Or more importantly, it just doesn't generate as much money. So,
exactly. Yes,
well,
exactly.
I think it to me just sort of stands to reason. If it was generating as much money or more
Mm-hmm.
money, and they were getting paid less, then you got a problem there. Something's not right. You'd have to
Yeah,
explain yourself. But if it's generating a quarter of what male sports is generating, I think it'd be. I thought, where would that money come from then? To pay
yeah.
them.
I think people fail to understand how that works. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It seems it's just a numbers game. It seems quite straightforward to me.
I mean, I agree, but I think most people, I don't know if they think that that the NBA teams should subsidize some of that money or what. I don't know. I really don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this: are you doing it for the salary, or are you doing it for the love? Some people, it's a little bit of both,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you're not gonna, put forth your blood, sweat, and tears for nothing.
yeah,
At least some type of compensation is all I'm saying.
yeah. There's a great clip on YouTube somewhere of a comedian named Andrew Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 5-minute little thing about the U.S. women's national soccer team where he makes good points, whatever, but it's very funny as well. So anyone should check that out. I would play it, but it's 5 minutes long, and I'm just not going to sit through it right now. But it's great. It really is good. It's funny, but it's also realistic as well. So, but anyway, women's sports. I mean, all right, same general topic, but why are most women's sports not as exciting? Not all, but most. Personally, I prefer to watch women's soccer over men's soccer.
I'm a fan of volleyball, football, and the
football. I mean,
and
you're talking about the lingerie league.
is that what it's called?
There
Yeah.
is a women's lingerie football league in the U.S. and it's evidently pretty popular.
Yeah, and tennis as well. And you could say it's aesthetic, but they're some of the most finely tuned athletes
Oh, for sure.
in the world. So yeah, I
Yeah.
I always take the time out to check that out. And then there's this one you mixed martial artist, I believe is from Korea, and her name is escaping me right now, but she is a beast. Like,
Oh yeah. I love watching women's UFC fights. I mean, I do love that, but as far as like basketball and some of those other sports, it just doesn't seem to be as exciting. Maybe it's just basketball. I don't know because I like women's soccer, especially World Cup soccer, but not the men's. But that's partially because the U.S. men's team sucks.
All right, because
So
obviously soccer or football over here is the main sport, and
sure,
if you look at the football skills of some of the men and the football skills of some of the women, the reality is that there is a significant difference. And I
sure,
can only assume it's because a lot of these guys who are professionals were playing football from the ages of 4 and 5 and 6. Not all of them, but a lot of those guys were professionals. That's all they've ever wanted to do. That's all they've done. I don't know if it's the same with the women's soccer. And I'm not saying that they're not some skillful women football and teams out there and some games that are good. But no, I think anybody who knows or watches football to a decent level will agree that male football is better, is more entertaining, and that's why it racks up the figures and the money that it does. And if women's football was as good, I believe it would rack up a lot more figures than it does. When I see women do some skillful stuff, it looks great to see. But it's few and far. But it does look great. Well, it looks great to see. You laugh, T, but I say it looks great to see because of the very thing I just said after. Because it's few and far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the U.S., like I said, the men's national team we get beat by everybody. I mean, but the women's national team here are very good, and they have been for years now. I mean, but so it's exciting. I enjoy watching that, especially World Cup or Olympic soccer is fun to watch if it's the women's team. But what I'm fixing to say kind of goes back to the whole male female athlete thing. Is recently the U.S. Women's national team was playing some practice games, gearing up for a game against Mexico or somebody, I don't remember who, but they played so Dallas, I guess it's the Dallas Football Club, has an academy program, so young players that play up through. I guess I don't know a lot about soccer, but anyway, they played the they played the U15 boys team in Dallas. And U15, I don't know how you guys do it in the UK, but that means under 15 years old here.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the women's national team played a friendly against the U15 boys team and lost. So
and what sports is
soccer?
All right. Yeah. Again, with all respect,
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
It really kind of did me a little because they've always been so good, but again, you're only comparing it to other women's teams. So
yeah. I'll tell you where women. What I do love to watch, and maybe they should be getting equal money, even though they're not as fast. And that's athletics. Women's athletics is great, and as women can run, and it's entertaining, and
so you're talking like track and field stuff.
Yeah. At the moment, what's this? There's some athletics on at the moment. That's a worldwide athletics.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, it's on right now. Well, yeah. Sorry. World Athletics. Yeah, got Roxanne back there. I think it's literally just called World. Well, America. It's in America.
I have no club, not heard of it. Only time I ever hear about running is occasionally you hear about a runner in college here that's good, or outside of that, it's the Olympics. Really,
right,
I mean,
Well,
if it wasn't for the Olympics, I wouldn't know who Usain Bolt is. Like,
amazing.
Well,
it's on at the moment. America is smashing it. There's some 100-meter runners and 200-meter runners in the USA that are taking the world by storm. But there's also but Jamaica smashed the women's 100 and 200.
And see, and you guys say that guns aren't ever good. If we didn't have to run for people with guns over here, we wouldn't be nearly as fast.
I wonder, are we getting to the point where we're just going to be like super fast? Like, what is
fast?
Super fast? Like, are we going to start matching the speed of like cheetahs? Like, because athletes are getting more fine tuned, whether it's, medical assistance or not. A lot of natural athletes are becoming more agile, becoming stronger, being able to do things that you couldn't do 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So is that evolution? Are we going to like naturally be able to jump 10 feet in the air or something? That these are the questions I see when I see like
it's a bit of both, isn't it? I think that as time goes by, we hone everything. I mean, there was a time when boxers may have, or definitely footballers used to, have a fag, a cigarette, and a beer at half time. Now
Hmm.
they don't. Now there's a lot more training involved. Same thing with boxers. They train harder, they work harder, so they become better. So and then so that means that, yeah, as evolution. Same with track and field. I think they're doing new things. They're training more. They're training. Yeah, before track and field may have been a side thing. You did a job, and then you ran 100 meters. Now it's a full time occupation. So that's why times are being broken, and then again that's how it becomes evolutionary as well, I guess.
I don't know that I think that we'll naturally ever get that fast. I mean, I think the human body has a limit, but as genetic engineering and things advance, I mean, I think you could definitely engineer someone to be that fast. Maybe that just feels really fast to be running. I mean, I just don't. It's almost like I don't know that the human body could handle it, but
Handle
I
what?
mean, how do we know that's not the
the
next step
speed,
though?
that's running as fast as a cheetah. I don't know how fast a cheetah
Oh, as
runs,
fast
but
as a cheetah is what he said.
that's what
All
he
right,
said earlier.
Yeah.
He said
all
the
right. No,
fastest is a
I don't
cheetah.
think that's something that could happen naturally. No, but we
Yeah,
can definitely keep um, chopping milliseconds off
yeah.
times and stuff like
But
that.
I mean, who's to say what evolution will do? I mean, in 1,000 years, maybe we do, but is evolution then going to also favor the cheetah? And in 1,000 years, the cheetah is going to be even faster as well. I mean,
So I mean, it's not fair if a giraffe can grow a neck to get foliage in the top of a tree. Why can't we get the speed to outrun a cheetah or a lion, or a upset elephant? You
I
know,
guess we don't need to. What we might do is get bigger thumbs for all these mobile
for the
phone
phone.
stuff. As time goes,
Yeah.
these kids with big old thumbs.
That, or we may get a longer neck so that it doesn't hurt as much for you to look down at your phone. I don't know. I mean,
Longer
that's
arms
that's
so that you can do selfies.
yeah. Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
everybody get in here. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the necessary stuff. We don't need to run like cheaters, but we're gonna need bigger thumbs as time goes by, man. Just the essentials.
Yeah. It's,
I
I
don't.
mean,
I don't.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I don't need to run like a cheetah. Just give me like telekinesis. I'm good with that. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Days.
I mean, what Elon Musk and then we're working on what's that Neuralink thing. I mean, so I think eventually, maybe in our lifetime, you're going to be able to call somebody with your mind and not have to actually speak. You just be able to transfer your thoughts. I mean, through
Is that
something
is
like
that
that.
is that something you really think?
I really think that. I mean, Elon Musk is already working on Neuralink, a thing that it's like it'll be like an implant into your head
Yeah, yeah,
that
oh
you
yeah.
can do that.
I'm definitely not going to say no. That's impossible.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to tell
D-
what can be done.
So would you want to be Neuralink with your wife?
I mean, I think yes, but if there's the ability that you can, turn off, you're not 100% linked all the time, where all your thoughts or whatever. Like, there's got to be ability to disconnect or whatever, just the same as you do a phone call.
Imagine that. And as soon as you do, you're in big trouble. What the hell are you disconnecting for? What are you trying to hide?
Right, right.
Just switch you back on right now. Mate. Yeah.
But that's. I don't think. I think if I asked my wife, would you want to be connected to my brain all the time, where you know my thoughts and everything all the time? I think she would say no.
Yeah, I think most people would say no.
Yeah. So
I know. I'm gonna say no.
sure. I think. Yeah, I think I would probably say no as well.
So no,
But
we're close. We're close enough. I don't need to know every single thing that goes through her mind, and I'm sure she doesn't need to know every single thing that goes through my mind.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, well, I don't.
Imagine having to sit through one of those excruciating stories where all these details didn't really matter. It could have been summed up in 2 minutes, but it took 10 minutes. Like, no,
Now, hey,
not
hold on a
no.
minute. What's wrong with details? Because I'm a very detailed person when I tell a story. That's Steven used to
Okay.
complain about that all the time. All the time he would complain that my stories took too fucking long.
All right. So if I told you I got into a car accident and then I said on the way Before the accident, I went to Burger King and they forgot to put pickles on it. Was that really
Yeah,
something that needed to be added to it?
I start tuning out. So yeah, imagine if you can't tune out.
Yeah.
Sure, I understand that.
Tune out is a very important feature for men.
So I tell you, I would tell that story almost that way, but it would be more entertaining because I would go, I had a wreck. I had just left Burger King, and those fuckers forgot to put pickles on my burger, and so I was already mad. But then this some asshole hit me. What? Yeah, I would definitely put those details in there, but
beef it up.
they're not important. They're not important, but I would put them in there.
Okay, so you would also put in a side conversation that you overheard that had nothing to do with the initial meaning to the story?
No, I would probably say, "Oh, but I also heard this conversation. Remind me in a minute to tell you about it," and then I would finish my story and then tell you about the side conversation if it was a humorous conversation. So
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing, but sometimes it's just like it's it's stuff that women I don't want to say find important, but they find, you know what I'm saying, like they resonate with it enough that it sits with them, and to me I can ignore it. Like if someone gave me a funny look, I'm not going to guess what the look meant in several different ways or fashion. I'm just going to be like, either they have a problem or they don't know how to communicate with me, but I'm not going to think about it twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to brush it off. But them, oh, I think it's because of this, or they're jealous because of that, or it's just like, oh my God, like, why don't you ask them? Why don't you ask them what the look meant, opposed to playing this guessing game and then becoming an investigative agent trying to put the clues together from a Christmas party from 2 years ago? It's like, oh my God, come on.
Please. Yeah, that's how drama ensues. You can talk yourself into believing something, and before you know it, you're in drama. So
I,
yeah,
I got a white noise filter that I use quite often in my head. It's been a very
well,
useful tool since I was 25.
that takes us right back to what we were saying. That the idea of being having to listen to everything that's in your partner's mind may not be as advantageous as you might think. If you can't switch it off.
So would you Neuralink with your spouse or significant other if it could be turned on and off?
Yeah, if I have that option or that control, sure.
Why? What is the benefit of that?
For utility purposes.
Yeah.
For
Like
what?
if I can't get you on the phone for utility purposes. If you're not in the house and I can't get you on the phone, boop boop. Hey babe, picking up food, you don't have to cook. And that's it. We don't have to have a long conversation or anything like that. You know what I mean?
The
Or
mobile phone do the
you
exact
gotta
same thing.
I said if you can't get them on the phone and they're not in the house.
Normally, if you can't get them on the phone, they don't they don't want to be contacted, mate. Although in saying that, Roxanne's got this habit when I call her, never answering. So yeah, maybe that's
So
what we need.
maybe it's just you.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure that out myself. Maybe it's just me. Um,
Oh God.
If your significant other doesn't smile when they pick up the phone and you're on the other end, they say that she's happy, but if she does, she's putting up an act. I don't think that's necessarily true, but in some instances, it's not false.
if she smiles, she's not happy. Do you say, or if she smiles, she is happy? Because obviously you
Yeah,
can't see her when you call, or yeah, you can't see a partner when you call them, can you?
you can tell though.
All right, okay. So you said if she
Yeah, like
smiles, is that good or bad?
it bad,
All right, interesting.
but I don't know.
Why is that bad?
I don't know. It's like it's putting on the front or something like that.
Okay, wow. You see, I think that's how you get mixed messages and all that sort of stuff. Imagine that you follow that theme. You call your partner, she's all happy, and you decide that means that she's up to something. That if that was reversed, I would be thinking, look, I'm with somebody and I just can't win. You call me and
Yeah.
I'm upset. you could complain about that. If you call me and I'm happy, you're definitely going to complain about that. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. If I call someone,
That's
I take everything face value. If I call someone and they're happy, I take it they're happy. If I call them and they appear unhappy, I take it they're unhappy. I think anything else is just making things difficult.
I mean, that's probably a healthy way to do things.
It just seems like common sense to me. Anything else is looking for trouble, is complicating what could be a normal, easy scenario.
So what if they
hold
look
on,
on?
hold on, hold on, hold on. You said it's complicating what can be a easy scenario.
What could be, yes, definitely.
Okay, and you know this idea came from a woman, right?
Well, no, I didn't know that, but what does that do? That I don't know what that does. I'm not sure what that means. The fact that it comes from a woman, it definitely doesn't change my mindset, though. It definitely doesn't change my mindset.
So
Goes
It
back
might
to my
increase.
statement about complicated and less complicated.
Okay, maybe it's just that woman who's complicated.
so if you're talking to someone
hmm
and they look like they're upset or angry,
hmm
but they tell you everything's okay, how do you handle that one?
Don't judge a book by its cover. I have that issue all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, if I'm talking to someone and they don't look happy and I ask them, but they tell me they're okay, then yes, unless I have something else to go by, I would have to take their word for it, unless there is something else besides that. So, in other words, if they don't look happy and they're saying things that appear to me to be, I don't know, anything, whether it be argumentative or just that they're not happy, then I may have to ask the question again, or I might have to formulate my own opinions. But just because they may not look happy, if apart from that everything they're saying is fine, then yes, I'd
So
agree.
all right. So what about tone? I mean, will the tone of voice, even if they're not being argumentative, but their tone of voice sounds unhappy. I mean, but I guess what I'm just trying to like you say you take everything at face value. So you basically just take whatever someone says is like, well, that's got to be the truth because, or not that that's got to be the truth, but like that's what they say. That's what I'm going to take. So
Yes, as I said, yes, unless there are signs that indicate otherwise. So the more
Wouldn't
signs
that
I see
also
that indicate otherwise, the less I'm likely to believe them. The more I'm likely
Yeah.
to think, no, there is something wrong.
wouldn't that also depend on how well you know the person?
I could see
Yes,
that. Yeah, for sure.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. So there is no one answer or one rule for everyone. It is really about who the person is, as you said, how well you know them. Yes, what is it? Is it just the way they look? Is it the way they're saying? Is it their tone? It's just, yeah, a whole host of things, and each one of them, I guess, is a brick in that wall. And the more bricks, the more I think, yeah, there is a wall, there is a problem.
Yeah.
I struggle with that.
Why?
I'm a very visual person, and I feel like I got excuse me. I feel like I can tell if someone's upset or angry or whatever, and it's hard for me to take. Someone says, "No, I'm fine," but you look angry, and especially if you sound like you're angry or upset, like it's just very hard for me to just leave it. But
But what do you do? What do you do though?
I mean, if it's my wife, then I will again after a little bit, I'll say, "Be sure everything's okay," or whatever. And
I told you everything's okay. Leave me alone.
not quite like that, no. But it does irritate. If I keep asking her, it does irritate.
Yeah,
me.
no, I know it's a thin line, mate. I know.
I know. Yeah,
I know.
yes, for sure. Yeah. Um, we were talking about something the other day, and I cannot remember what exactly the subject was, but I said that really sounds like there's a very fine line I got to walk on that, and she said there is a very fine line you have to walk on that. It's like that doesn't seem fair. She was like, "You're right, it doesn't seem fair."
Tell it like it is.
Right?
Yeah.
But just remember, you better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is a fine line you have to walk between being able to read mind and also just take things at face value. I mean, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, because I have to admit, I have learned that as well, where there'll be scenarios where I might say to Roxanne, anything like, should I leave that? And she might say, yeah. And as I'm walking away, she might say, I can't believe you're going to leave that. So it takes a long time, and I'm still struggling a little bit. But yes, there are times when I've learned, yeah, you don't necessarily, if she says something, that doesn't necessarily mean what she says. It's about trying to
Right.
understand the situation.
Yeah,
Man, I was gonna say it's crazy because women evolve over the years the longer you with them, and it's just like, okay, I think I'm more upfront when it comes to like you know conversations or issues or problems and things like that. But with women, it takes time for them to be ready or comfortable enough to come out and say it. Depending on the woman. But when you ask straight out, it's like you didn't ask the right way, and that's why it's a problem. And it's just like, okay, there's no handbook for this, and then you just figuring it out as you go. It's not really fair, and that's why certain guys just give up and ignore the situation, or whatever. Like,
Mm.
I think to be a guy, you really have to have patience, like, to understand a woman, honestly.
I think to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship, everyone needs patience. I think that's probably a key ingredient in a long-term relationship, to have patience with people, and when people don't do things the way you expect to. I was talking to, again, Roxanne, just the other day. I think I can't remember what it was. I think she was looking for something on the phone, and it was taking too long. And I was sort of saying, "No, you do this," and she said to me, "Let me be wrong. Just let me be wrong." and and I had to laugh, and I thought, she's right.
yeah.
She's right.
My wife is. I've tried to give my wife instructions on things before, and she's just like, I don't need, if
Yeah.
if I need help, I'll ask for it.
Yeah. They'll get there. They'll get there. Yeah. Let me be wrong,
Yeah.
she said. I thought, okay.
Things that drive me up the line. It's not just her. I mean, anyone. If I see them doing something and they're not doing it the most efficient way, or
Yeah.
they're not doing it even sometimes just the way I would do it, it's just
Yeah.
like, it
Yeah.
drives me crazy. I mean, even to the extent of how they use the remote for the TV is like, why are you doing it that way? Like, what? There's such an
How
easier
many
way
ways
to
is it
do
use a
this.
remote? How many ways
Well,
you just hold it, push a button?
the, the remote we have here at home, like, there's a play pause button, but then there's
Yeah.
a button that's basically for selecting something, and
Yeah.
you can hit play and pause with that as well.
All right.
But depending on what app you're using on the TV, that can cause other things to go correct. Like, if you're rewinding and you hit that enter button, you're just going to rewind faster now rather
Yeah.
than hit
Yeah.
play. So if you get out of that habit, it
Agree.
happened the
I
other
get
day,
you.
and I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do it that way? Like, you have a play button. She was like, well, the enter button works as well. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's an easier way to do this. But yeah, she's had to say to me multiple times, like, just because I'm not doing it your way does not
Yeah.
mean I'm doing it wrong.
For
I'm like,
sure.
yeah, you're right. That
For
doesn't.
sure.
You
So,
got to learn to let go.
oh, no,
that's
that's for sure.
an-
That's for sure part of my problem. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's coming off a little bit neurotic there, Joey.
I definitely have some neurotic things and some OCD tendencies about things. I have nervous
Yeah.
tics and things like that drive me crazy and drive my wife crazy.
Does
So
does it stems from the lessons that were beaten to you as a child?
I'm sure a lot of it has to do with that. I mean, well,
Yeah.
I forget what something else we were talking about the other day, and I said, yeah, I do this and that or whatever, and my wife was like, that comes from the money issues you had growing up with your mom and the way she handled money and things like that. It's like, that's where that comes from. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, you grew up kind of poor too, and you don't have those same things. She's like, yeah, but I wasn't to the extent of you. So my thought was, as I got older, is like, I will have nice things. I've worked hard to do. I've worked hard. I deserve this, is what she says. And I can't think of anything I've ever done or bought myself where I said, I deserve this. Like, a thing like that. I'll spend money on my wife and kids, no problem. I'll spend money, lots of money on them. But if it comes to my headphones, I wireless headphones I take to work with me. So if I'm sitting at my desk, I'll pop one in and listen to something while I'm working. They broke a week and a half ago. They broke, no, more than that, 2 weeks or so ago, they broke, and I still haven't, and it's $30. Like, I can buy another set for $30 and go with it. I just haven't done it yet. Like why? They broke. Why do I need another pair? That's money. I could spend that money somewhere else. It's just strange like that. It's like I hate myself just just small enough that I'm not going to kill myself, but I hate myself enough that I also don't do good things for myself.
Really?
So, yeah.
This is turning into a therapy session for you, Joey. I feel like we're unpacking some things, and it feels good.
I've never understood that. I've never understood that when people, talk about having to find themselves and all that stuff. I speak to a lot of women who talk about that, and you've got to know yourself before you can be with someone, and it's probably true, but I've always just, I won't say muddled through life, I guess, but it appears to have worked okay for me. I've got a decent job. I've got a decent, a decent wife, a decent family. And
she must not be. She must not be in the room anymore. You said a decent wife.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. She's gone. You're right. And it's good point, because I don't think I would have said it. She's there, but she's gone. But yeah, I think that's what I was going to say. But yeah, I've really just sort of, things are just, yeah. I don't really think too deeply about myself, and I don't know. I think I just do what needs to be done, or what I think needs to be done.
At the end of the day, it's all about, making sure you're happy and doing what makes you happy. If that's taking care of your family and not necessarily spoiling yourself to a certain extent, and that's what it is. I mean, other than that, I don't think you would deny yourself or put yourself in a position to be upset. Like with Joey replacing his headphones, it's not making him upset, but I'm not going to be less happy now that I don't have them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely someone that I subscribe to the thought of, like, you should know yourself, know where your shortcomings are, and try to work around that and set yourself up for success. I mean, so, like,
no, I agree with that fully. But I just don't beat myself about it. I don't sit there and try to work out who I am. But yeah, definitely, I think you're a bit of an idiot if you don't try to learn by your mistakes, if you don't understand your surroundings, don't understand what's expected of you, whether it be my missus, whether it be my kids, whether it be my siblings, my family. Yeah. But I don't sit down and try to contemplate it. I don't meditate and all those things. I think I've heard many people say this, and I think they might be right, actually, that you should really spend some time on your own before you settle down. I actually went from home to living with Roxanne. Which again, and there are some drawbacks to doing that, actually. I'm sure Roxanne, Roxanne would say. The truth is that even now at this age, my cooking skills are pretty poor, and anytime I try to cook, the kids complain. So so normally on my day to cook, I buy a takeaway and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Well, the English aren't exactly known for phenomenal cooking skills anyway.
Careful, okay.
Hey, the truth hurts.
Gordon Ramsay, he's English. Do you know Gordon Ramsay?
I know exactly who Gordon. I love Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, the one popular chef from
I was gonna say, yeah. You notice where he comes to the U.S. though.
Yeah, I was going to next for. Yeah, he comes to sort out all you guys and your problems, and there's hotels. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But yeah.
No, I like Gordon Ramsay, but
Well, he's
To
definitely,
all
he's
the
definitely.
ladies,
What?
I was gonna say to all the ladies over there in the UK and the US that come across this, I'm an excellent cook. Just to put that out there.
Yeah, but yeah, I just make up for it in other ways. T. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Oh, I'm well rounded. I can't speak for everybody else. You know
Yeah,
what
that's to
I'm
do with your diet, bro.
T, your camera froze. Oh, there you go. That's back. That's back. Yeah. So I'm a decent cook. My wife is a great cook. Like I'm a decent cook. Like I can grill the shit out of some stuff or barbecue or whatever you want to call it.
All right, well,
And I can
stuff
cook a
I can
great
do.
breakfast.
Yeah,
So
well, we barbecue all the time, and I
yeah.
barbecue. But Roxanne, she seasons up all that stuff before it's barbecued.
Oh no,
You see?
I do all the seasoning and stuff. So yeah,
Ah,
when on the stuff going on the barbecue. So
is it?
saying?
I'm
See?
actually
I,
I'm actually gonna smoke some pork belly today. So
All right. Yeah. I'm
yeah.
gonna. So, how do you? We're gonna talk about another time. But I'm not quite sure how to smoke stuff. I just know how to barbecue it.
Yeah.
I cook from scratch, bake as well.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. See,
and
bake.
that came out of necessity from a child. It was just like I can't keep making egg sandwiches and peanut butter and jelly. So, I learned how to, you know, make spaghetti. Started out, something simple, frying chicken. I just wasn't putting stuff in the oven. You know what I mean? So, because you
All
gotta
right.
you gotta have well balanced food. You know what I'm saying? So as time went on and my palate, evolved, then I was able to switch it up. I learned how to make like fried rice and lasagna. More complicated meals basically.
No.
So
No.
so
No.
I
I just
can't
see.
do the fast
Yep.
food thing all the time.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Plus, it's cheaper.
No, that's true for sure.
sure.
Um, so before we get off, either of you had anything you wanted to bring up? I know Andre, you said something about the sex thing, but I mean, did you guys have anything else you wanted to go over before we jump off here?
The sex
Um.
thing.
Yeah, this is
No.
sex in weird
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. We touched on it already. I've got a note here about Big T, aka Muffin Tops, but I guess then we can talk about that some other time. But I've got that. I've got that here on my phone.
Yeah.
But
You
we can
you
save
call that a jab? I call that an advertisement. I appreciate that.
that. But yeah, we can save that, man. Who knows when that's gonna come back, man? But it will.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I guess we can go to anyone listening to this.
Of course there is.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, listening to this, the three of us with Roxanne and Easy have a bi-weekly show called Something for the Weekend. It's on the Soul TV page live. So it's every other Sunday. It's 1 p.m. Eastern, and I think that's 6 p.m. in England. So yeah, we talk about a number of things. We always try to tackle a topic and argue about it. It's a good show. Enjoy it.
And this
So
week's and the topic, the next one is going to be: Is a man's role? Is it a man's role to provide and protect?
yeah. So I'm not sure. So the next show is the 30. Is it the 30th? It's the 30th, 31st. I guess it is, isn't it? Right.
31st.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
31st. So if I do this as a 2-part episode, then you will have just missed it whenever you miss the live, but you can go back and watch the video. But anyway, yeah. So you can catch all three of us with, like I said, Roxanne and Easy every other Sunday on the Soul TV Facebook page, and then yeah, we'll do another 3 the hard way at some point. Maybe we'll have everybody on here in a
Sure.
couple of months or so.
Yeah.
So I also have an announcement to make. I was going to do this after the three of us came off of here,
Yeah.
but I'll have, it's just too much more set up for this. But this show, the B3F podcast, is done for a while.
Wow.
This I will still do the three the hard way stuff every few months because I just enjoy these conversations.
Mhm.
But there's a lot going on in my personal life at home and things like that. Not bad, I'm not verge of divorce or anything like that. It's just it's busy. Things are busy. There's a lot going on, and it's no secret that the show isn't the same without having Steven on here to have the back and forth. It's just not the same.
Mhm.
But I'll say this show that we're doing right now today is probably going to be a two-parter just because it's 2.5 hours long. And so when the second part of this comes out, that will be right at 3 years that this show's been going on. So it's been a great 3 years. I've enjoyed almost every moment of it. It's just, the following is not there right now to validate continuing to struggle with everything else and do the show, but I'll still be doing the something for the weekend show because the following's there, the fun. I enjoy doing that show 100%. It's also because there are 5 of us and 4 of us rotate out hosting duties. It doesn't take as much of my time up as this show does. So, that being said, I've loved every minute of it. I appreciate everyone that has supported and been guests and had us and me as a guest and listened and watched. But aside from some three the hard way, at least for an extended period of time, this show's not gonna have anything else for a while. So that sucks. I hate to do that, but it's just the best thing for me to do right now. Which I knew that was coming, and I thought this is the best episode to go out on because we always have fun conversations, and I always enjoy talking to everyone. I hate that Josh and Easy couldn't be on here today, but it is what it is. So that being said, this will be the last time until we do another three the hard way that you guys will hear from me on this show for a while. To all the listeners out there, I appreciate it. And I'll be back at some point because I just enjoy talking too much to not do it. So that being said, if you guys have anything else to input or plug, your own podcast or shows, go for it.
B3F. It's the reason why I'm here. I think it's through B3F that we met. So
yeah,
definitely going to be sad to see it go. But apart from that, JXP Productions. I think you can find it on. You can find it on YouTube. Apart from that, I got nothing else to really plug. But yeah, B3F podcast, great while it lasted. If I'm not mistaken, did you ever miss a week?
No.
Amazing. That's
consistency.
Yeah. I mean, the only time that anything was a couple of times I've replayed the Something for the Weekend show in place of one of these episodes just to try to get it out there some. So I've done that a couple of times, but without fail for 3 years, there's been something released on Monday every week. So
pretty amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. So anyway, yeah. T, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, man. If you're listening to this, check out Landover Legend Studios on all social media platforms, where you can find a bunch of my hilarious stories and my podcast. I Can't Make This Up. That's I Can't with a K. Make This Up podcast. I think you'll enjoy me having conversations with people and having them listen to the tragedy that is my life.
All right. Well, until we do this again, goodbye for now.
All right.
Give us a thumbs up on Facebook at B3F Podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch at B3F Podcast, and on Instagram at B3F_podcast. YouTube has all of our videos. Support us on Patreon or buy me a coffee at B3F Podcast. Send all your questions or comments to admin at b3fpodcast.com. Find us online at b3fpodcast.com. Rate us and review us wherever you listen. And as always, thanks for listening.